I don't remember anyone getting a 1 before. Ever, in fact. I'm hard pressed to remember a 2. Even 3s are rare and reserved for extreme long shots, like Lulu. How will the audience interpret this? That I'm weak, friendless, a coward? Any way you slice it, it will not result in my getting sponsors. I'm going to be entirely on my own in the arena when it comes to supplies. You must have gotten to them, Maisley says with satisfaction. Between the reaping and Luella and spitting on the crowd, you really caught their attention. Well, that's a sunny interpretation, I reply. Perhaps she's right, says Mags. If nothing else, it's distinctive. People will be gossiping about it. With 48 tributes, just becoming recognisable is a plus. Wyatt shakes his head. I don't even know how to factor that into your odds. What did you do anyway? Good question. I guess not in so many words, but I accuse them of murdering us. Yes, says Lulu. Her eyes bore through me. Then she winces and swipes at her ear. But we can hear a faint but piercing tone that must be deafening in her head. When it eases, tears stream from her eyes and she's gasping. Wyatt presses his finger against his lips, then hugs her tightly. I take the first watch again at bedtime, my mind swimming with strategy. The game makers, no doubt, under Snow's direction, have made an example of me, and that displeasure could follow me into the arena. I might have doomed myself to a gory opening death. My hand seeks my flint striker for comfort, but only finds better skin. They couldn't even leave me that last token of Lenore Dove's love. What did she think when they announced my score tonight? Since she didn't get to witness all my reckless behaviour here, she probably blames herself for me getting called out in the reaping. But how will she ever know that... she was only a teaspoon of trouble in my river of wrong? I feel like I'm a big risk now to the plot to disable the arena, but I'm sure BT's figured that out. I stay awake through 3 watches, thinking he might pay me another visit. Eventually, my eyelids get so heavy, I wake Wyatt to take over. Our mentors let us sleep in late, and I feel better when I find my precious necklace awaiting me at the kitchen table. All 4 of our tokens cleared, and we reach for them with eager hands. Can I see yours now, since it's already off? Maisley asks me. What can I say? No, because my girlfriend hates you. We're all supposed to act like allies now, and I figure Lenore Dove will never know, so I pass over my token. Maisley studies it meticulously, going over every bit of engraving and reading the inscription, which does not escape her notice as it did mine. Well, the covey have an eye for beauty, and that's for sure. Heard you of one of Tam Amber's pins, I say. She wrinkles her nose. Oh, that. It's well made, but I don't care much for mockingjays. Something unnatural about a bird that's half mutt. Never thought of it that way. Some people think that it's victory in itself, way they escaped the capital and survived. Do they? Said Maisley. Well, if I escape the capital and survive, maybe I'll give that pin a second chance. If you don't, I'm sure Lenore Dove will be happy to take it off your hands, I say. Lenore Dove. Maisley gives me a knowing smile. She doesn't like me, your girlfriend, and it's not because of any pin. Because you're so mean, do you think? I ask innocently. Maisley laughs. Partly maybe, but mostly because I know her secret and she hates being at my mercy. Her secret? What does that mean? It means how come she's got orange paint on her fingernails when she shows up to play for the mayor's birthday party. She hands me back the token. You ask her that if you get home. I look down at the necklace in confusion. There's orange on some of the feathers. She was probably just helping Tam Amber, or maybe she tried painting them to match her lipstick. I guess Maisley made some crack about Lenore Dove having ugly nails. But why is that a secret that would put her at Maisley's mercy? Nail polish is pricey. Is Maisley suggesting Lenore Dove stole it? Tell me now, I say. I told you, it's a secret. Those should be respected. Maisley carefully arranges her necklaces. Apparently the game makers viewed her collection as a single token, and hooks the purple and yellow flowers around Lulu's neck. Unless, of course, you've got one to trade. Then we'd have something to talk about. Some girl thing. Wyatt comments on as he puts on his token. They never make sense. You said a mouthful, I agree. The script coin Maisley woven to Wyatt's call distracts me. She's designed it so it's easy to pop the coin because flipping it through his fingers helps Wyatt think. Hey, what's that coin made of? Nickel? I asked. Zinc, I think, says Wyatt. Potato battery, I remind him. Keep an eye out for the copper. Maisie fishes her flower medallion from the display of her neck. Already on it. Of course you are, Mr. Honor, I say. If the game makers cleared those, maybe they're hoping you'll use them. Just then, Drusilla shows up and calls us into the living room so that she can help with our interview prep. Anyway, after the reaping and chariot fiascos, she's feeling some heat. Our training numbers aren't doing her any favours either. This is her last big event for the Quell and she needs it to go well. Listen, you lot, there are always soft-hearted dolts out there who will send supplies to losers like you, if they can find some way to relate to you. And only one who's got any name recognition right now is Haymitch, because people are trying to figure out why his score's so abysmal. He also got some attention for his appalling behaviour towards the audience at the parade, and the rest of you are basically non-existent. This interview will be your last chance to make some sort of impression before the games begin. Anything that makes you stand out is a plus. Make me remember you. So, who are you? Why should I want to lay my money on you? What are you selling? With an audience of Drusilla, Mags and Wyrus, we clear a space and try and stimulate our upcoming interviews. Drusilla plays Caesar Flickerman, the smooth-talking host of the event. She loses patience with Lulu almost immediately, given that the child can't do much but repeat, "My name is Luella McCoy and I'm from District 12. Absolutely dreadful, says Drusilla. Flickerman will eat you alive. What's wrong with you anyway? Snap out of it. She gives Lulu a shake by the shoulders. The contact triggers something in Lulu, who begins to scream, "You're murdering us! You're murdering us!" Drusilla gasps and raises her hand to slap Lulu, but the rest of us intervene. Max takes Lulu into the bedroom. That isn't Luella McCoy, Maisie Lee tells Drusilla. She's dead. That's a body double. Some little girl at the Capitol was tortured and she can't even remember her real name. But even she can see the obvious. You're murdering us. Drusilla looks around for backup, but the peacekeepers remain downstairs. Wyrus isn't giving any, so there's just her and us district piglets, including Maisie Lee, who slaps back. She composes herself. That's not my department. Your interviews are. She points to Wyatt. You're up. After they exchange niceties, she asks Wyatt what makes him special. I'm an odds maker, he says without hesitation. An odds maker? What's that? I set the odds for gambling events back in 12. I give odds on who will win the Hunger Games. You do? Asked Drusilla, sceptically. I do. So what do you recommend our audience bet on? Wyatt takes a deep breath and rattles off his projections. Well, it's tempting to go for the low-hanging fruit. The odds will always look good for most of the careers. Like Panache from District 1, the largest tribute, trained, high score, I'd give him 11-5 odds, which means he's a 31.25% chance of winning. Or Marie from 4. She's obviously a contender, with her physique and an 11 from the game makers. Probably an indication that she's exceptional, with a trident. I'd say 6-1, or a 14.29%. Fancy math, but nothing new there, says Drusilla. Everyone knows the careers are a good bet. Obviously, returns Wyatt. But what's made these games a novelty is that all 48 tributes have locked into alliances before the start. Nothing like this has ever happened before. The careers are powerful, yes, but the newcomers outnumber them 2-1. If I was betting, sure, I'd take a look at the careers, but if that alliance really holds, if the tributes really defend each other to the death, anyone has a shot. And if you're not afraid of some risk, it's a better bang for your buck if you back a more obscure newcomer, because the odds are not in their favour, so they'll pay off higher in the end. Give me a name, says Drusilla. Haymitch Abernathy, says Wyatt. He scored a 1. Exactly, with no apparent handicaps. He's physically fit and his behaviour suggests a boldness that disturbs the game makers. Throne, I interject. You don't have to do that, Wyatt. I'm not doing anything, Haymitch. That is my honest assessment of your chances. Maisie Lee's not a bad bet either. What about yourself? Asked Drusilla. Oh, I wouldn't bet on me, admits Wyatt. I simply... No, cuts in Wyrus. Don't underrate yourself, Wyatt. No other tribute can do what you just did. Play up how intelligence matters. Reference me. Say Wyrus won the games last year without shedding a drop of blood. Brains matter. Wyatt thinks this over for a minute, then turns to Drusilla. Here's the thing. At any given moment in the Hunger Games, we will all know everybody's odds. how they stack up against each other, and how likely they are to receive gifts. It should keep me from making a lot of stupid mistakes. That's my advantage. It's up to you if you're smart enough to see it. Good, says Wyrus. Yes, position yourself as the smart choice for betters. People who pride themselves on being smart will respond to that. When it's Maisie Lee's turn, she and Drusilla stare daggers at each other, but refrain from exchanging blows. So, Miss Donna, what do you think of the capital? I think I can't believe people with so much money have such bad tastes. Here you are with mountains of cash, and this is where you wound up. She gives Drusilla's outfit, a red and white striped jumpsuit with a matching beanie the once over. You look like you jumped right off of that candy counter back home. Just a peppermint stick nightmare you are. Drusilla's hand goes to her collar. You're not going to make any friends with this approach, you little shrew. Who said I wanted friends? I'm here to make people remember me. Remember, it's not just you, it's everyone I saw from the chariot. Garish colour and flattering lines. There are some fashion choices you people are going to regret. Why do you want to resemble a barnyard animal is beyond me, but I hope there are goat horns that are removable. And so the woman with the diamonds implanted in her teeth? People age. Oh. There's no shame in that, but I think those stones are going to make eating a trial when those gums recede. So we should be emulating what? District 12? Sputters Drusilla. Heavens no. People who don't have 2 cents to rub together can hardly be expected to dress well. Although there's not a miner in 12 who doesn't have a better physique than the people I witnessed in that crowd. All the surgery in the world won't change that. What? And all the money in the world won't buy a good taste. Clearly, some people in 12 have a lot more than what I'm witnessing here. Are you done? Drusilla says. Honestly, I've barely warmed up. Sit down. It's Wyrus who concludes. It's a risky strategy, but yes, they'll remember you. Mags comes back holding a handkerchief dotted in blood. She's drifted off, but I don't know what they've got in her ear, but it's starting to bleed. Drusilla waves her off. Again, not my department. You're up, Abernanny. So 12 has a lunatic, a computer, and a shrew. What are you? Bad news, apparently, I say. How else I'd get a 1 in training? Mags coaches me. Yes, that's good. Highlight it immediately. Own it. Well, how did you? Asked Drusilla. Earned it. The game makers don't like me. It probably started when I messed up. When I messed with the peacekeeper during the reaping. You can't say that, Drusilla protests. You'll spoil the brilliant work I did covering up that riot. What riot? Woodbine ran and your people shot him. I know a riot when I see it. Never mind. That's forbidden. It won't win you any points with the audience anyway. They'll respond to a bad boy, not a rebel. You need to be naughty, not dangerous. For instance, last winter, one of the university students dyed the fountain pink when there was a face cream shortage. So saucy. Everybody loved it. I think she's actually trying to help, but yeah, okay. I'm going into the Hunger Games. I don't think a face cream statement is going to cut it. Can I talk about spitting on the crowd? Absolutely not. What will people do with that? But if I can't talk about the reaping and I can't do the spitting, what am I supposed to talk about? Drusilla thinks a moment. You must be mysterious. Allude to radical behaviour without being specific. The ones who witnessed the opening ceremony have already been gossiping. Let the audience use its imagination. Naughty, not dangerous. That's it. Be a rascal. A charming, naughty rascal. A rascal. That's what Mormor used to call a squirrel who'd sneak up on the porch to steal nuts she was shelling. Right from under her nose. Bold as a stump, but funny too. Well, I can try. I don't get a chance though, because right then, Proserpina and Vitus burst into the apartment in a state of agitation. It's Magno. We went to his apartment to see the interview costume so we can plan tonight's makeup and hair, begins Proserpina. We're allowed to do that, required to actually, on our syllabus, so it's not like we were brown-nosing or anything, interjects Vitus. And the door to his apartment was wide open, and he's reeling around. He's sick. He's puking all over the place and talking like a crazy person, and we think the toad venom rumours might be true. Proserpina claps her hands over her mouth as if she lets the monster cat out the bag. Rumours? Rants Drusilla. That man's been licking toads since the war. I can't believe that even he would risk doing it during the games. Oh, what am I saying? Of course I can. If for no other reason than to end my career. Why would he lick toads? Asked Wyatt. Because he's a reptilian freak, and he'll do anything to take me down. They say some kinds make you hallucinate or something. if they don't kill you, explains Vitus. Some people do it for fun, but ugh, nasty. I'm going to issue a formal complaint with the game makers. Drusilla grabs her handbag and storms out, effectively ending my interview practice. Do you two perhaps have any black clothing they could wear? Wyrus asks our prep team. Us? Says Vitus in disbelief. We don't wear black. It's too depressing. Proserpina bursts into tears. Her magenta hair puffs out, bobbing wildly. I need to call my sister. She throws herself into a chair next to a table, holding a burnt orange telephone, presses some buttons, and begins to wail into the receiver. I'm going to fail. Mags corrals the rest of us, including Vitus, into the kitchen to eat bowls of strawberry ice cream. After a few minutes, Proserpina joins us. My sister says it isn't our fault and to just do the best prep we can. She slurps a big spoonful of ice cream, the last trickle of tears sliding down her flushed cheeks. She says if they try to fail us, we can appeal to the university board. My sister knows everyone on the university board on account of how she used to be the student social planner and has to get everything approved. Her sister's amazing, says Vitus. She is, says Proserpina. She was the president of the Capital Cohort's chapters. She basically created the Spring Saturnalia her freshman year. It's the best party of the year, Vitus tells us. So much better than that tired old fling. So much better, echoes Proserpina. Anyway, she thinks we're going to be alright. Like she said, a positive attitude is 97% of the battle. It's so astonishingly self-absorbent. In the face of our impending deaths, I don't even know how to respond. Maisie, on the other hand, doesn't miss a beat. I'll try to keep that in mind in the arena. More ice cream? Mags catches my eye, her smile barely suppressed. Proserpina just holds out her bowl, oblivious. I really think it will help you. Maisie, Lulu, and Wyatt's prep teams arrive, and we take turns in the bathroom and bedrooms being groomed. I tried to negotiate a few extra minutes floating in the tub so I can work out how I might come across as a rascal, but all I can think about is stealing nuts. I have a bad feeling I'm going to come off just as annoying. Since they're not trying to counteract the insecticides from the gym shower, the prep team gets better results with less effort, but they can't compensate for our clothes. We were given a few changes of socks and underwear, but apart from that, we've been wearing our training outfits for 3 days straight. Lulu's is as wrinkled as a raisin from her napping in it. Wyatt spilled mashed potatoes on his, and scraping it off made it look worse, and I have a tear in my shoulder from where Panache attacked me. Even Maisie, who looks the least crumpled, has a spattering of her homemade glue from working with tokens. On top of that, the really cheap fabric really holds the smell of the fierce sweat that we've been pumping out, and that demoralising even if the cameras won't pick it up. I tried to keep a positive attitude since that's 97% of the battle, reminding myself that at least we have the black clothing that fits us and we have our tokens. But the truth can't be denied. We look like what we are. Neglected, no account, not worth a professional stylist, long shots from District 12. Who's going to sponsor that? On top of this, we have 8 prep team members, half of them in tears, totally preoccupied with how this will affect their grades, and consequently, their future job prospects. Drusilla returns, pissed because she was unable to file a complaint until after the games. As an afterthought, she went to see if she could rouse Magno, but he didn't answer the door, and she thinks he might be dead, which is the only thing that's keeping her going. Except maybe that quart bottle of rum that she's knocking back in the kitchen. Wyrus and Mags try to focus our minds on the interviews, but the general commotion makes that impossible. The noise drowns out the ping of the arriving elevator, and she seems to appear out of thin air. A young woman with lavender hair, a dress like a grape gumball, and a green checked stockings, 4 black hats stacked on her head, a clothes bag draped over her arms, and she wheels a cart of spiky shoes into the centre of the living room and announces, "Who's ready for a big, big, big day?"